All righty. Hello, everyone. Incredible morning. Gonna make this, excuse me, really, really quick. Mm, ooh, I don't know why? I got gas all of a sudden. All right, let me get onto the street so that I can drive safely and then give you guys this PSA. All right. So, hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome. I am Shakia, the owner of HS Inc. 365 LLC, the parent company of Silaholics Anonymous, the honestly speaking brand of products, and 365 Creative Academy. We sell supplies for converting Epson printers to um, various things. So whether it's sublimation, eco solvent, X, Y, and Z. The older workforce printers used to be the workforce 7820, I mean 7710, 7720, 7210, 7610, 7620, 7110. And they used the 252s. And they were auto reset. Greatest printers ever used, right? I mean, for sublimation and converting and all that stuff, they are amazing. Uh, the fact that you can auto reset them or just use a resetter. So last year before last, Epson came out with the 7820, 7840, 7310 printers. When they first came out, there were no chips for them. You had to purchase the Epson chips. So you have to get the refillable long cartridges, and you had to purchase the Epson chips, which for XL will run you about $30. So over time, the powers that be over there, over in China where they make everything and do everything, they created or they programmed and had these ones where they are XL 812 XLs single use chips, right? Going into it, um, at first there were several companies that had them, and they could not sell them in the U.S. because Epson tried to put a block on them. Don't know how it happened, whatever, to where there are, eventually it came to where companies were able to, overseas were able to manufacture them and sell them in the U.S. Well, to us, so that we can sell them in the U.S. Do understand that you guys are taking, well, because I do have, because I put pigment ink in mine. Mine is technically, it's not converted, but I'm using third-party chips and cartridges in mine as well. My 7820, my 7840, I use for pigment ink. And we take a risk in doing that because these are chips that are not Epson, genuine Epson chips. So you take a risk in it. Effective today, July, I don't even know what today is. I'll figure out what it is, whatever day this video is posted. Today is probably the 17th, 18th, somewhere in there. Effective today, we will have a disclaimer and we will have a terms and condition on our website after I get back home and after my class, to where you are assuming the risk of using these chips. We did our due diligence, we did our part, and when we did see that there was an issue, we took them off of our site. Everything was put at zero. We took every single chip. I even did it on live, part of them. Every single chip in our inventory, even the ones that were on cartridges. That was a couple of days of man hours that we had to pay to have those done. Even the ones on the cartridges, we opened up all the cartridges, took all of the chips off. We have dummy cartridges, because it doesn't have to have anything in it. We put all the chips on there, put them in our 7820, our 7840, and ensured that they were in working order. They were not getting an X. Anyone that had an X, they were put aside and recorded and sent to our vendor so that they can replace those for us, because on our end, we never got them to work. Even if we tried to use, because some of them, if you use the chip resetter, it's almost like it wasn't completely programmed. It's like maybe if you just short it out. So we would use the chip resetter on some of them and they would work. But we did our part. That is one thing about our company. We do our part. When we realized that there was a potential issue, we did not know if it was due to firmware, if it was due to the chips, if it's due to the printer. So we said every single chip that we send out, we're going to make sure that it works, and we verified every last one of them. I'm not in your homes, in your workspaces to know why it does not work on your particular printer. I'm not sure if it is the firmware, if it's this. We're not going to go and buy every single type of printer and have every single firmware. Y'all don't pay us enough of that. I'm sorry that this is coming off this way, but it is starting to get really irritating. And then when people go and come at us kind of crazy, I'm sorry, I got to say it this way, but y'all don't pay me enough to go and get every single printer and want to test it and have every single firmware. You take a risk. You are converting a printer that's not meant to have these. You're not using Epson Genuine. If you want to use those printer, go ahead and pay $30 for the chip instead of $17. Or if you buy the full set, you're paying $16. Go ahead and continue to buy the Epson chips for $30. Go buy their cartridges, take it off, and you'll make sure that they work. But as of today, I'm sick of it. We're not going to continue to go and ship it back. And then you say, okay, these are not working either. As a small business, we can't take that hit. You took on that risk in converting the printer, so you will take on the risk of purchasing the chips. We have done our part. We verified that they work. Don't tell me that I'm a liar and, oh, it's not, it's the chips, it's this, is that. If we sat there and put them in the same printer that the printer that uses those chips, we know that they work. So as of today, there will be a disclaimer. If you don't want to purchase them from our site, I get it. I understand. No sweat off my back. No hard feelings. We have a lot of other great and amazing products, but maybe the chips do not work for your printer. We have a lot of customers where they do work. We've never, one of the things I always say is before it reaches an X, put that new chip on there. When you first get them, while the other one is still working, put it on there. Maybe once it says an X, it doesn't want to pick it up. So you can try getting an Epson cartridge, getting one of those chips, putting it on there to where at least the system reads an active chip, and then put that one on. But that's all we can advise you to do. The same way we had to troubleshoot and do all this, you're going to have to do the same thing. So as of today, anyone that purchased the XL chips, you are taking on that risk of, hey, it may not work. I understand you have a small business as well, and you may feel like, okay, well, I can't afford to take this hit. Well, if you don't want to take that hit, I suggest maybe you go ahead and get a Sawgrass printer or get a printer that's made for sublimation, because there are risks involved in converting a printer. And y'all can't keep talking to me kind of crazy. Like, look, I'm a very professional person. I'm a very helpful person. But when you come at me and make it seem as if it's me, we have a problem here. And so today was the day that, it was the straw that broke the camel's back. Is that how that saying goes? So as of today, yeah, we will not be sending anything back. You take on that full risk when you purchase them from our site. Okay. So people are putting your Epson chips and other printers that they're not, no, they're putting it in there. So they will buy the 812 chips and they're putting them on their cartridges inside of a 7820, 7840, 7310, and C7000. Those are the ones that have to have the replacement chip. It's the 812. So they're doing that part correctly. I'm just not sure why it works in some printers, and there they go, laughing, LOL, whatever. Okay, it is whatever. I understand that. I don't know what you want me to say. Give me a bad review. I'm not one that gets all my panties all in a wad about bad reviews, because that is your personal experience. I mean, in business, you're going to get bad ones. I never got into business thinking that I'm going to get a perfect review, but I know that I get on this thing all the time and I help people freely. I go and unlike other companies, we do our part where we sat there and we tested. I guarantee you, most other companies that are selling these chips did not bother to do that. They're just gonna be like, okay, well, whatever. They're just gonna put it out there. We tested every single chip that comes into our facility. If it doesn't work for you, do understand that that is the risk that you take. Paradise the Plug says, all of my 7840 chips from you work great. Thank you for that. And I'm not going to say that there might be a time where, and again, I don't know what it is. This is a new technology. Epson was trying to basically keep us from using third-party chips, point blank in the period. One of the reasons why they probably changed out the printers completely and put in and change it to 812s. Hopefully, a chipless firmware comes out and this won't be an issue. But until then, you are accepting the risk that it will not work. There is nothing more that we can do on our part. We cannot go, I cannot go and troubleshoot with every person and be on the phone with you. I cannot FaceTime every single customer. I cannot get on a Zoom with every single customer and figure out what is wrong with it. All I can do is to continue to give you guys information on things and suggestions on what may work. If it does not work for you, then go and buy an Epson cartridge, take the chip off, shave down. I'll do another video to show you how to do that. I'll do that part for you. If HS Ink chips are not working for you, I will show you how to take the Epson cartridges, because all of these chips are pretty much coming from the same manufacturers overseas, the same programmers. So don't think that, oh, it's just our chips. We're not the ones manufacturing these and programming them. We're getting them from China on Alibaba, just like everyone else. So you are more than welcome to go to a different company if you feel like you're going to get a better service there, and that they're going to go and try and replace the chips and keep. That's crazy to have to keep paying for shipping to have that sent out. I've done it once or twice, and I wasn't doing it. We're not doing it anymore. As of today, do understand that you assume the risk of using third-party chips. If you don't want to assume that risk in purchasing from us and feel like you're going to lose $17 on a chip, I perfectly understand. I understand. You know, maybe that part of it, the business, of our business, is not for you. And that's all I can say about that. I brought my cartridge and chips for my EC7000 last November and still haven't tried them yet. Whoa. Now, Danny, I'm gonna inbox you because that's crazy. I don't, okay, but I always understand that my risk when buying non-Epson products. Matter of fact, I have my 7310 and 7720 from you. They're all great. We can buy direct from China and have, exactly, you can buy them direct from China and we'll have the same issues, because let me tell you the other thing in this, right? A lot of companies are going to just buy them. Okay, yep, this is the new printer that's out. This is the one that people want. I want people to be able to come to my site, so I need to have this particular one. The difference between me and a lot of other people is I get on the phone with them. I mean, on WhatsApp with them. I'm talking to them via email and messages, trying to find out. Every time you guys ask me, and every so often I go and I try and get the update on, well, why is there no auto reset chip? Why is there no chipless firmware? And it is because of the way Epson made those. They each have their own code for it. So each one has to be programmed with a different code. It can't be where that one code is reset. So it makes it quite difficult. And some of them just don't. It might be the firmware. It might be, I'm not sure. It might be from printer to printer. I don't know. But what I'm not even gonna lie. Because I care so much about my customers and providing great customer service, I was this close to buying a 7820 and a 7310. And my family looked at me like, when the hell are these printers gonna go? Why are you gonna go out because of a $17 chip and go buy a $300 printer and a $250 printer? That makes no sense. But I was literally this close. That is how much I am dedicated, and I try my best to help. And then for someone to go and come at me kind of crazy, not knowing that I do on the back end to ensure I didn't have to do that. I took away from other tasks to test over 250 sets of chips, not 200 chips, 250 sets of chips. There are 4 chips in a set, so y'all do the math. Tested every last one of them. So don't tell me that it's on us. It's our chips. When we did the work. That made me mad this one. I'm sorry y'all got to see me in this state, but I'm like, yo, I put in more work than most of these. But okay. I digress. I just wanted to come on to where it is on video. And once I get home and after my 12 o'clock class, I will be putting a disclaimer on the site. And you also, once you get it, I will be going into Klaviyo to create a flow so that there is a secondary one to say it's going to be on our return policy and refund policy. So I'm about to put that ish every single way. You're going to have to you're going to have to check a button. It's going to be on the return policy. You're going to get an email, and here is your official notice on video. I might even put this link. As of today, I don't even know what today is. Let me make sure we verify the date. July 19th. I said 17th and 18th. As of today, July 19th, we will not be replacing any 812 chips. Okay? So, thank you guys so very much. You'll see me in a much happier state after my class, because right now I'm at my mother's house having to do work. She's at work and has tasked us to do stuff around her house. How does that work? But she like we love her. So we in here, even though in there doing like electrical stuff, and I have to fix some things in her bathroom so that she's ready for, my mother has this Airbnb thing going on now because she's an empty nester. So yeah. I'll be in a much chipper mood. It's actually not in a bad mood now. It's just I had to be very stern and set boundaries about this. So you do go above and beyond with assistance in service. You are so right. Sometimes you have to ignore people and leave them to God because he can take care of them better. That is true. But sometimes God may take care of him, but everybody don't hear the voice of God because everybody don't talk to him. So guess what? You're going to hear my voice and hear me say it because everybody don't talk to him. They don't hear the voice of God. And okay, yeah, he can take care of this way, whatever. But leave it up to God. Yeah, true enough. But I still got to take care of my business here on earth. And I have to let people know that, hey, we're no longer that. I have to still set terms and conditions and policies and things of that nature. So I'm gonna go over it right before I get off. Tell my mama, hey, she's not here. She is at work and has us doing the work in her house. How does that work? The marketing maven is always putting people to task. Gotta love Mama Shan. Yes, exactly. So what happened is, and so in case you're just coming on, if you already been on from the beginning, hey, you can go, you don't have to sit through the whole thing again because I'm just going to basically repeat what I just said. So the Epson has new workforce printers, right? There are actual sublimation printers. You can pay a couple $1,000 for the Sawgrass and pay a couple $100 for their replacement cartridges. That is an option if you want the large format. And you can also pay for their bypass tray if you want to do 13-inch wide and longer prints. Those are your options. However, for the sake of financial reasons, a lot of people choose to convert Epson printers, whether it be an EcoTank and it's a smaller version. And now you're trying to figure out, well, I was just printing, now my colors don't work. Yep, that's going to happen. It's not anyone's ink. You cannot go to the ink company. You can't go to me or any other ink company and say, hey, it's your ink. What's going on? And it's crazy to me that you converted the Epson printers. You know you can't go to Epson, so you want to blame the company that sold you the ink. Oh, it has to be something with the ink. No, it's not. I've made a video when I talked about the Epson printers, especially the small format ones. They back up like crazy. They get air pockets like crazy and air clogs like crazy. The larger ones, it can't happen. If you're printing every day, it doesn't stop it because the smaller format printers were not made to be workhorses. So when you're going and you're constantly printing on them back to back like that, it doesn't matter which ink you have in there. We have regular ink in one of them and we still have issues with it. And you just kind of have to wait it out. I understand you all have businesses, but you just got to wait it out sometimes because you are using this printer for something it wasn't intended for. So with the workforce printers back in the day, auto reset chips, 252s, greatest printers ever to convert. Amazing. Well, 2 years ago, Epson changed them, and you have the 812 cartridges now. So all of the workforces, 7820, 7840, 7310, use the 812s. They are single-use chips. They cannot be reset. They are a newer technology. They are doing their best to program them, and hopefully they work. Well, we have had people where it doesn't work. We allowed them before to send them back, and when we get them, we put them in our printer, and they work. Oh, let me tell you another thing. When you do send me back one, I record every single last one, and I send you the link to that YouTube video because it's unlisted, and I'll show you that, hey, I'm opening up your package. I'm taking it off, I'm putting it on there, I'm putting it in here. This is what happens if it works or if it doesn't work, to show that it's working over here. So I don't know why it did not work. So when we did send them back, we'll put it on there. If this one does not work for you, we are not replacing it. However, as of today, July 19th, 2022, we are not even going to do the initial switch. You assume all risk in trying and convert and using third-party chips and cartridges with the workforce printers. Honestly speaking, HSing 365 LLC will not be replacing them as of today, July 19th. You will assume the risk of using third-party chips. It works for some, it doesn't work for others. You may have some chips for us that work, and I don't understand why one set of them will work, and then if you purchase another set down the line, it doesn't. But all 250 sets of chips, we tested each one. And anyone that did not work, I waited 24 hours, I tested them again. I wiped them down with alcohol. I waited another 24 hours, I tested them again. And whichever ones did not work were put in a baggie, separated from any of the other inventory, and marked so that they can either be sent back to the manufacturer or they can just replace them for us. But we cannot do anything to reprogram them. Nothing can we do to program them. You are the only reason why my 7820 is working now. My 7720 and 70, yeah, so it's not those. Those are the older ones. Those are the best versions. 7710, 7720, 7210, 7110, 7610, 7620. They're the best ones. You're not going to have these issues. It's not for those. It's only for the newer workforce printers that use the 812 cartridges. If you are having an issue with third party, you definitely can purchase the Epson cartridges from the store, and you can take the chips off of those and glue them on and then put them in your printer if you're having that many issues. But you're either going to pay $13 for a standard and only get maybe 25 prints. If you're printing with premium presentation paper matte, you might not even get that. If you get the XL, XL Epson cartridge runs you about 30 bucks. So $17 or $16, 30 bucks. The choice is yours, the risk is yours. But honestly speaking, we'll not be replacing them after today. All right? So until next time, have a great one. Continue to unlock your creativity and be incredible.